Wait, what's up?
Waddell.
I think he might be on site. Yep.
Good afternoon, Mr. Teasley.
Hello.
Hi, we'll be right with you, okay?
All right.
All right.
Ms. Barry, is this my turn? His brother is the what's thank you. Mrs. Nancy's.
Good afternoon, my name is Parole Officer McLizzie. Today is Thursday, February 13th, 2025, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. Following board members are present by stating their names on the record, certify that they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Good afternoon, I'm Panel Member Barry.
I'm Ellen Zappo Sasso.
Nancy Turner.
Clerk, can you please state your name and inmate number for the record?
Keith Teasley, 364-264.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Keith Teasley. Number 364264. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, execution suspended after 33 months and 5 years of probation for a violation of probation underlying sales, criminal possession of a pistol, sales, and interfering with an officer. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of May 24th, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows that the offender has completed Tier 2 voices and he holds a facility job out on outside clearance. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the high range risk for recidivism. Mr. Teasley, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin, sir.
Can I read my letter?
Sure.
I would like to apologize to the parole and my family for putting you in this situation. I am writing you today to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to present my case for parole. I deeply understand the gravity of my actions and I am committed to demonstrating readiness to reintegrate into society as a positive and contributing member. Due to my full-blown opioid addiction, I have failed to realize the depth of the disease and the length I was willing to go to satisfy my addiction, which ultimately resulted in me selling and doing drugs after losing my job to the pandemic. While on the path of the addiction, I got the full inside view of what these drugs did to me and other people, because I have personally lived through it. I had a lot of time to reiterate myself that this will be my last opportunity to get my life back on track and become a productive citizen I once was. Upon my first weeks of incarceration, I had time to reflect on myself, that this is going to be a tough transition, but this is my chance on getting myself and receiving the proper tools and information to structure my thoughts in a more constructive and positive direction. By doing so, I signed up to do my required OAP programs, which are Voices and Tier 2. I also joined Smart Recovery, attended weekly meetings in and volunteered to a group called Man Up, which stands for Mental Awareness Nourishment Using Positive Principles. On completion of these programs, I received the information and knowledge that I was lacking to learn the causes and effects of me consuming drugs and dealing drugs. I also was able to express different points of views of crimes committed from the victim's perspective. Obtaining further information helped me realize that I was living life through impulsive behavior. With the effort and time I put into these programs, I feel I have new opportunities to righteous future. I also have made concerted effort to reflect on my past actions and work towards personal growth. My role as a father has been a central focus throughout this journey. I have consistently prioritized maintaining a strong, supportive relationship with my child, even from a distance. I believe that my commitment to being a good father is reflected in the positive letters and reports from those who have witnessed our interactions. By taking proactive steps to prepare for my return to society, I have participated in various rehabilitation programs and have engaged in community service within the facility. These experiences have not only provided me with valuable skills, but have also reinforced my commitment to contributing positively to the community upon my release. My eagerness to continue this trajectory has dedicated me to using my experience to support and uplift others, working towards a more inclusive and supportive community environment. I understand the responsibility that comes with this opportunity. I am committed to adhering to all conditions of parole. I am prepared to demonstrate my commitment through my actions and contributions, and I respectfully request a consideration for my release. Thank you for taking the time to review my case. I am hopeful for a chance to prove my readiness to make amends and contribute positively to society.
Thank you very much, Mr. Teasley, for that statement. I'm just curious to know if someone helped you write that.
Now, I mean, I had a little help, but mostly,
I just don't understand why you guys don't have your GED or your high school diploma. If you're able to write like that, to advocate for yourself, why can't you go to school and get your high school diploma?
I don't know. I was just
It's sad.
moving
It's
too
really
fast.
sad. So what we're going to do is ask you some questions, Mr. Teasley.
Okay.
When we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and we will give you our decision, okay?
All right.
Best of luck to you, sir. Ms. Turner?
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Teasley.
Good afternoon.
I appreciate you prepared that statement.
Mhm.
I think that pretty much the exact same statement could have been given when you were up for discretionary parole in 2019. You were granted,
Yes.
and that was gun convictions, along with selling heroin.
Yes.
So you went out to discretionary parole, and then we terminated your parole early. You got your parole ended in February of 2021, and I was part of the panel that granted your early termination. And less than 5 months later, you reoffended with these charges while you were on the deadly weapon offender registry. And I think probably the most disturbing thing, that the residential search where they found all the drugs inside your home, you were living there with your daughter, right?
Yes. I was living back and forth. Yes.
So you were selling out of your home with your daughter living there. Young child. Really concerning decision-making, sir. And I know that, a lot of people did lose their jobs during COVID, but there was also a lot of work available during COVID if people were willing to do it.
Yes. I did keep my job. I lost it, but I was working during the pandemic.
So, what we have is a situation where you were granted discretionary parole, then you were granted early termination, and then you committed new offenses. And, you're out there peddling poison to your community. You don't use heroin yourself, do you?
I use crack cocaine sometimes.
Uh-huh. So you were willing to, in the middle of the opioid epidemic, to put other people's lives at risk in order to line your own pockets and feed your child. Very concerning choices, sir. You want to go live with your mother in Bridgeport?
Yes.
What will you do for employment?
Find a job. My stepfather works at a truck company in Stratford. Milford called Answer Trucking. He says he could put me in there when I get out.
Doing what?
Sandblasting cars. It's called Answer Trucking.
Have any experience with that?
No, but I'm willing to learn.
Good. What did they pay you at your outside clearance job?
$1.50. So I think it's $20 every 2 weeks.
So $1.50 an hour?
Yes.
$1.50 a day.
Yeah, $1.50 a day. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair. So you remember that when you go out and you have trouble finding work,
Yes.
and the only thing you can find is fast food, which you've done in the past.
Yes.
Very respectable way to earn a living.
Mhm.
If you can humble yourself for $1.50 a day, you can certainly accept minimum wage.
Right.
And some of the positions that are abundantly available right now. So you haven't finished your time on the deadly weapon offender registry. That runs through what year?
Can you repeat that?
No, I'm asking you.
I said, can
It's
you repeat
your
that?
obligation. When does the deadly weapon offender registry end for you? You should know this.
It ends now.
It's a 5-year obligation with the state police. that
Oh yeah,
began
yes,
in
5 years.
2021.
Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were saying.
When does it end?
I think it ends 2026 or 2025.
2026 would be about right. You need to know about that obligation and be prepared to uphold it because it can bring you back to prison. So you've got a number of years of this sentence hanging over your head when you go out to probation. You've been on parole before? Discretionary parole. Okay.
Yes.
During COVID. Just very concerned for you, Mr. Teasley. You're still very young, so you can turn this around. What's your relapse prevention plan?
Just stay humble and keep up on my job. I'm not trying to relapse. I'm not trying to go back in the situation. I'm not trying to
But when you
be.
have an addiction, you need to actively work to not relapse, as opposed to just open a prayer. Right?
I
So
feel like
are there ways that you're going to engage in your own recovery?
Yes, I think I'm work out, play a little sports, basketball. I'm not trying to relapse, and I think that I've been down long enough to sober to not relapse.
I read that part of your plan was to go to NA meetings. I'm not hearing that from you today. Is that still part of your plan?
Yes,
Maybe use that to build a recovery network?
yes. When I go out,
Anybody in your family or your support system living in recovery?
no, they don't do drugs. My mother do drugs.
So you're in need of people in your life who know the struggle of
Right.
addiction.
All right,
And you get that through a recovery community.
all right,
And there are people that you can call when you're thinking, pick up, one time old heart. And that's the stinking thinking that leads you back into using. So it's really important that you have people you're connected to that can help you,
yes.
especially when you're struggling, if you're starting to feel stressed. What are your triggers for using?
I really don't have any triggers for using. It's just sometimes I get bored or I get stressed out. When I get stressed out, I start
Those
to
are triggers, sir.
yes,
Boredom and stress are triggers,
yes,
but they're also part of life.
yes.
So you need to learn how to cope with them in healthy ways so that you don't just resort to drug use.
Now when I stress, I just work out or I read books.
Yeah, but when you're back in the community, the stresses are going to be different.
That's why I think I'd rather stay in programs. I'd rather keep up with programs, keep myself in programs.
Well, that's what meetings can be on an ongoing basis. Some people engaged in the recovery community through NA and AA for decades.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of 90 and 90?
No, I never heard of 90 and 90.
It's the idea that you would, in the first 90 days that you're out, you would go to 90 meetings,
Okay.
sometimes multiple in one day.
Right.
You know, you got to see what the different meetings are like in different parts of the state, around your community, to find ones that you're most comfortable with. You know, they're different. Do you know that there are different kinds of meetings?
Yes, it's all kinds of meetings. I just need to put myself in a couple.
I'm talking about some meetings are focused on doing the steps of
Yes.
NA.
Mhm.
Some are speaker meetings where people come in and talk. And they're all male meetings for men to share with each other in a safe space. So you got to try them all out, see what really speaks to you, what's most helpful.
Yes.
A lot of people coming out set that as a goal for themselves, 90 and 90. I have no more questions, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Turner. Ms. Zappo?
Yes. So one of my questions is in terms of our role in evaluating offender change. And you seem motivated. You have a job with outside clearance. You've remained discipline-free. But I have to say that I was concerned as well as my colleague when I saw that there were guns and bullets and drug paraphernalia all within a household where your daughter was living. They have since relocated to North Carolina, according to the reports. And is that one of your long-term goals still, is to relocate there as well?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing that concerned me, Mr. Teasley, was in one of the responses to questions, you said that you did have a significant period of unemployment from the ages of about 20 to 25 when you were living with your mother and you didn't feel motivated to find a job. So talk to me about motivation and what's changed, because honestly, we need to make sure you're motivated to not reoffend, that you're motivated to stay on the right side of the criminal justice system, that you're motivated to stay in recovery. So talk to me about how that's changed for you in the last few years.
It changed a lot because I have a daughter now, and I know I have to provide. I have to help my wife out with bills, clothes, and a lot of other stuff. So that right there has motivated me a lot to get off my butt and basically help out. I have no choice but to help out.
Who's helping your wife raise your daughter right now?
Her mother.
So going back to some of your programs, in terms of your substance abuse, we saw that you had been smoking marijuana since your teen years. And then when you were 20, you started doing the Percocet pills and then moved on to crack in your upper 20s. What motivated you to start using the Percocet pills? Was there something that developed at that time when you were 20?
No, I started using them after I got shot.
Okay. And what happened with that? You were shot in Bridgeport?
Yes.
Okay. And so as a result of that injury, you started taking the pain pills?
Yes.
Okay. And then did that cycle into crack? Was your supply cut off? Tell me about the crack piece.
Well, I never, when I was taking the perks, I never got them from the doctor. I used to just get them off the street. And then one day I just started sprinkling crack in my weed. Then I just went from there.
Okay. And so how long have you been substance free right now?
Since I've been incarcerated.
Since that. And So how are you going to maintain that? I mean, we've talked about the support systems, but do you feel that do you have the cravings still? Do you still feel those triggers are coming upon you?
No, because I wasn't doing it. It wasn't an everyday thing for me when I was doing it.
I guess I'm just concerned about the environment and you going back to the Bridgeport area. What's going to be different in terms of changing your people, places, and things?
Well, I don't have a lot of friends that I used to have no more. And I live on a totally different side of town now.
So I have that check.
Thank you, Ms. Apple. Mr. Teasley, I saw that you were on the deadly weapon offender registry through September of 2024. Is that right? I'm trying to look it up right now.
Yes.
That's what I saw on his rap sheet, that he completed on 9/26/24.
That's what I saw too. I'm not sure. That's what I saw. And it wouldn't be like, will we be able to look it up?
Well, it's right, it's on his rap sheet.
No, I
Look on
did
the
see
rap
it.
sheet.
I
Yep.
did see it there. But I thought maybe on the deadly weapon registry.
Oh, it might be on there if you look as well.
Thank you so much. Dying over here for being greedy. Okay. Thank you. So, Mr. Teasley, give us a few minutes to talk about your case. We'll give you our decision shortly, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Ms. Turner? Turner.
Well, I've pointed out a bunch of my concerns already,
Yes.
With his struggle to turn his life around. My records, my read, seem to indicate a daily use of Percocet and a daily use of marijuana, but he's telling us something different today.
I think they may say that stuff because of their charges. A lot of people say that they were using their drugs to sell the drugs. That they were
He
abusing
told
the drugs.
Officer Michelisi while he was in the interview that
Right.
they're just smoking every day.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Yeah, I read that too.
I encourage that he wants more for himself. I'm pleased for them that he still has supports in his corner. I expected more of a relapse prevention plan. I felt like I was actually explaining it to him rather than him having a focus and prioritizing his own recovery. He will, he's eligible in May and end of sentence next August. I'm going to stick with what I came in with, which is that I'm not be voting Mr. Teasley to discretionary parole today. It's just too much criminal history and nature and circumstances, as well as his performance on community release.
Yeah, he was on probation when he committed this offense. Ms. Apple?
I understand the concerns. I would say that I think that there is some emerging offender change, and I would encourage Mr. Teasley to continue with programming and taking advantage of everything that he can while he is still within the facility.
And your vote?
Deny.
Okay. So, Ms. Turner, if I heard you correctly, you said nature and circumstance, poor performance on community supervision, and I know you said one other. I didn't write it
Criminal
down.
history.
Okay, it's criminal history. Okay. All right. and we will not have him return. With regard to Keith Teasley, 364264, I move to deny discretionary parole based on the nature and circumstances of his offense, his poor performance on community supervision, and also his criminal history. He will not receive a new hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So, Mr. Teasley, you'll receive this in writing, sir. We couldn't support your parole today, but we do wish you the best. Good luck.
All right.
The hearing for Keith Teasley, number 364264. All right, you're all set, sir.
Could have said he was on probation. Could have said
Conditional release, I think.